Hi, I'm Randy Huck with Huck Products, and in this video we're going to talk about our new Vigorfit Gym wheel. We bought this Vigorfit Gym so that it's brand new, we bought it so that we could take measurements and find out what we can do to improve the wheel. Now it came with 4 wheels, and one of them was already broken, and we've gotten a lot of complaints from customers wanting us to make a wheel, and finally we have. And what we were able to do, because of the dimensions of the machine, is increase the diameter where it rolls on the rails, increase the thickness of the flange, and of course the flange isn't as tall now, so it has more strength to it. Now we make our wheels from solid engineering plastic. This is an extremely good engineering plastic, and we make them on our CNC lathes. And in a minute, we'll show you how to install these. Next, we're going to show you how to install the new Vigorfit Gym wheels, and Caleb, my son, is going to be doing the work. Now, the first thing that we do is make it convenient to work on it, and if we establish the height over here so it matches our trash can, and we'll pick this up, slide the trash can under, and now we can work on it from a convenient level. The first step is to remove the capture brackets on the upper part of the glide board. Caleb, go ahead and take that off. This is the easy end. The next step is to remove the capture brackets on the lower end of the glide board, and this is the head of the bolt that holds it in place. And Caleb will remove the lock nut on the other side, pull the bolt back just a little bit so the wheel doesn't drop out, but then this capture bracket, if you can see it from through here, once you get the nut off and pull the bolt back just a little bit, this will swing up out of the way, and then you can put the lock nut back on the bolt so that the wheels don't just fall out. Okay. Come off?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll pull this back just a little bit. Up swings the capture bracket, and then we put the nut back on. I'll turn it if you just hold it in place.
Okay.
Just so it's on. Is it on? Yep. Okay, let's do the same thing on the other side. Good. Now the capture brackets are off, and now the glide board can be picked up and removed. Okay, once we got the capture brackets off, then we were able to pick up the glide board, turn it upside down, and set it on here. It's a good working place. And we didn't mention it before, but these bungee cords we taped to the top side of the glide board because it makes it a lot more convenient. They're not in your way all the time. But the next step that we're going to do, we're going to take the wheels off, show you how to replace the wheels properly. Okay, now the wheels that we have on here are Huck Products wheels, but taking them off is the same as taking off your original wheels. You take off the lock nut, pull the bolt out. Now in this case we've got washers, but we're going to use, well, first of all we need to make sure that it's clean. This is a new Vigorfit Gym and it's clean, but yours may be dusty or something. So we're going to stick a stainless steel washer that has adhesive on it on there, so we want to make sure it's clean. So a little cleaner and a paper towel, and then dry it, and then the washer should stick just fine. So we take one of these washers that we're providing, it's got adhesive on it, and we set it in here and line it up in the hole, with the hole, okay, and give it a push so it stays there. And we do the same thing with the other side, and it's easy to stick the bolt through to help line it up. And then you get it lined up and then give it a push, and then we take our wheel and we slip it inside There we go. And then we put the nut on just hand tight. So now we've got the two washers in place, and then we've got the wheel. But we can't tighten this wheel assembly up yet because we have to get it turned back over, put on the rails, and then reverse the procedure before. Take the bolt out, carefully slide this up, and then tighten the nut back on after we put that up. So I'll do this other one. We need to clean it and then dry it. Take a couple of the provided sticky washers, line it up with a hole using the bolt, give it a push, take another one of them, line it up, give it a push, but don't slide it. Okay, now we put the wheel back in. And hand tighten the nut on the other side. And now we'll go over to the upper wheel assemblies, which are very similar, but we can tighten them up while we're working on them because the capture brackets are separate. Next, we remove and replace the upper wheel assemblies. Now they're a little bit easier because we can go ahead and tighten them right in place because we don't have the capture brackets in the way. The capture brackets for the upper wheels were separate. They mount next to it. We were able to take those out at the beginning. But we'll take this off. Take the lock nut off. Okay, and we just slide this out, remove the wheel, take out the washers that I had in there before. Now we clean it again. And then dry it so that it sticks. And then we take our adhesive washer, stick it on the bolt, draw it back, and give it a push. Same thing on the other side. And then put the wheel back in there. This time we can tighten the lock nut up. Okay, now it's tight. We don't want to get it too tight. Always check and make sure that the wheel turns. If you do it too tight, you clamp everything and it won't turn. And we just have to do the same thing with the other wheel, and we'll be done with the wheels. Well, now that we've got the new wheels installed, we need to turn the glide board over, put it back on the rails. But first, we'll verify that these wheels, the upper wheels, are rolling freely. We're going to check the lower wheels after we tighten the lock nuts to make sure they still roll freely. But Caleb is going to turn this over the correct way so that the rope doesn't get twisted. Okay, so he needs to do it this way. Go ahead. And then set the wheels down on the rails. Looks like he's got it already perfect. And then the next step will be to put the capture brackets on the lower and the upper rails, and then we'll be done. Okay, now that we've got the glide board on the right way, it's time to attach the capture brackets. We're going to do the lower ones first, and they're the more difficult ones. So the first thing we do is take the hand-tightened lock nut off of the bolt, and then push the bolt back, not all the way through the hole, or the washer may fall off. And then we put the capture bracket on, push the bolt back through, and then put the lock nut back on. And then we'll go ahead and tighten it, and then make sure that the wheel still turns. Tell me when you're ready.
Go.
Okay, now we're going to tighten it up. But not too tight, or we'll squeeze the wheel and keep it from turning. Is that getting tight, Caleb?
Yeah, I think so.
That's just okay. See, can you visualize? Can you see the wheel turning?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And then we do the same thing to the other side, and then we'll go up and do the upper end. The last step is installing the upper capture brackets, which is extremely simple. You just put this tab into the slot that's there, take your thumb screw, get it started, and tighten it up. There you go, and you do the same to the other side, and you're done. Well, now that the new wheels are installed and the capture brackets are back together and everything, all that's left to do is take the tape off of these bungee cords, remove the trash can, and get back to exercising.